We live our lives in patterns, and we live it in patterns.
And what do you mean by patterns?
In patterns of action. So, for example, a normal pattern might be that you get up in the morning and the first thing you do is go to the loo and then brush your teeth and then have your breakfast.
Your routines, I suppose.
Your routines
really, yeah.
is another good word for it. We do this also with our thinking. Our thinking is very much, okay, first thing is I pull back the curtain, it's raining, and a pattern may be, oh, what a horrible day again. Mm-hmm. This is a pattern of thinking. We may pull it back and see the sunshine and go, wow, fantastic day.
Weather does make a difference, though, doesn't it?
Well, what's really interesting about the work I do is to move away from the idea that the objects outside of ourselves are controlling our mood. And it's interesting, this idea that something that happens outside of us defines how we feel. So a lot of the work which I do, the psychological part at least, gives us an anchor which is ourselves rather than the world. So what that means is that the weather does not need to dictate how we feel. It means if somebody is angry with us, it does not need to dictate how we feel. If we get a puncture on our car, it does not need to dictate whether we're angry. So the
sometimes it does, though. It really, really does. It's actually quite difficult to draw a line under that. I mean, I just before we move on to that, though, can I just ask, what was it that got you into doing this in the first place? Because it's not if you went to see the careers advisor at school, they wouldn't have said, well, actually, I think you're ideally suited to being a health and happiness coach. So what got you to that then?
I worked for many years as a counsellor and worked with people. I actually worked quite a few years with people who had serious drug issues in various rehabs. And I also worked with lots of children, not with drug issues, but with emotional issues. And I worked with outreach programs. So I was doing a lot of kind of in inverted commas, the kind of care work, which was to do with motivating people. And I saw that there was one factor which was throughout all that they were doing, is that what they were really aiming for was to feel good about themselves and about life in general. This was the aim of all therapy, whether you're doing deep therapy or whether you're doing therapy which is to help, say, children, for example, feel good about their day. So everything, it seems to me, is really focused around how we feel, and it's in the moment. Life very much is lived in the moment. A lot of people like to transfer their emotions to a past. So if you've had deep trauma, you may be recalling somebody beating you up in the past each time you see a certain type of face or go to a certain building or a certain type of building. What the work that I do is a lot about bringing people back into the present. And it's not like a quick fix. It's not like you click your fingers and you make this happen. It's a practice. It's like, as I say, getting good at yoga. It's not something you can sit down and suddenly twist your head behind your leg behind your head. It takes a lot of practice. But life genuinely changes over a period of time, and it genuinely gets easier. So the reason why I got into it was partly because I saw the value for myself as well, but I could see the link with all the people that I worked with, that when they were treating their body well, when they were inspired by what they were doing, passionate about it, when they were thinking in a way which took control of their thinking as opposed to giving it back out to the world or to people who were angry or to their mothers or their partners or the weather, then it gave a real strength to people to be able to choose for themselves. And this seemed to be the big link that, to me, seems to be missing in our society.
In a way, you're sort of giving your power to somebody else to control you.
Exactly.